All right, welcome back, you guys. It is time for your health check. You know, on Friday afternoon, we told you about a rare virus called monkeypox that's been confirmed here in North Texas. It's just one case, and public health officials say there's little risk to you and me, but there's a lot to uncover about this virus, including how it got here and what happens now. So joining me live via Zoom is Dr. John Brownstein, infectious diseases expert and ABC News contributor. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
So, Dr. Brownstein, what is monkeypox? What are some of the symptoms here?
Yeah, so I know the last thing we want in the news is another infectious disease. I at least can say that, monkeypox is super rare. It's caused by the monkeypox virus. It's a relative of smallpox, which we're obviously more familiar with, but it's less transmissible and less deadly. And we know that smallpox was eradicated. Monkeypox is still around because it can come from rodents, including animals that are kept as pets, and it can transmit it to people. We haven't seen many cases here in the US. About 47 occurred in 2003. That was the last outbreak. But what's interesting is we don't know the animal reservoir for monkeypox, very similar to COVID, where we don't actually know where the virus is sort of coming from. But overall, it's not very contagious. It's not as contagious as COVID, so we don't have to be as worried as we've been about, of course, the pandemic that we're struggling with right now.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, what is the risk to the public? Because I think the experience of COVID-19 has really changed our mindset when we hear infectious disease.
Yeah, I get it. Our brains have been totally rewired because of COVID, which in some ways is great because we're adhering to protocols like masking and hand washing and staying at home when we're sick. But remember, monkeypox it can be transmitted human to human through respiratory droplets similar to COVID, but it's much more challenging. You don't have that aerosol transmission. Mostly monkeypox comes out in animals, and so we're not as concerned. Yes, it can actually cause severe disease. It begins with fever, headache, muscle aches. And these symptoms can go for about 2 to 4 weeks, but it's way less deadly than smallpox. So please don't conjure up these really huge concerns about this virus, both from a transmission perspective and also a risk perspective.
Okay, Dr. John Brownstein, thank you so much for your time and your insight this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Sonia.
You probably heard the word monkeypox at the beginning of our newscast and got a little nervous. So here's what we know about what's believed to be the first monkeypox virus infection in a Texas resident. The person traveled from Nigeria to Dallas, arriving at Love Field on July 9th. That person is now undergoing treatment at the hospital while contract tracing is being done. Again, health officials say there is little risk to the public here, but we know there would be lots of questions based on everything we've all experienced together. So we wanted to take some time to talk about this with an expert. So joining us right now is Dr. Ben Newman. He's a virologist at Texas A&M. Dr. Newman, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Hi, how can I help?
Well, this is the first time I have heard this word. I'm sure a lot of people have never heard of monkeypox before. What is monkeypox?
Yeah, they should really call it squirrel pox. It does cause a bad disease in monkeys, but we think it actually comes from a variety of rodents that you find kind of across the rainforest band in Central Africa. And when it gets into humans, it causes a disease that would be similar to smallpox, which probably nobody remembers, or let's say similar to a very severe case of chickenpox. But in the worst cases, about 10% of the time, it can be fatal. And in those cases, it's going to get in and shut down the lungs. And it can also, in non-fatal cases, damage the cornea of the eye, resulting in permanent vision loss.
Oh, so that does not sound good, but I think we all have a pretty good file now on what COVID looks like, how transmissible it is, what people end up, how it has jeopardized our entire society, frankly. How do you compare monkeypox to this global pandemic?
Yeah, monkeypox has been on everybody's list of potential viruses that could be a problem at some point because it causes a very severe disease in people. And the only reason why it hasn't been a problem to this point is that the virus has not ever really figured out efficient human-to-human transmission. Mm-hmm. So the old wisdom here is that it takes large respiratory droplets and a lot of contact time. And that's something that we originally thought for COVID, but may not be as true with some of the newer variants. So it's possible that there's some variation here, but right now it looks like something that would be blocked very well with masks. And from what I understand, there were masks in place on the flight. So that's one nice thing that came from COVID, if anything can be said to be nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, the masks on airplanes certainly going to eliminate a lot of transmission of things, you would think. So am I hearing you say that the risk to the public would be low, or can you quantify the risk?
Yeah, it should be quite low, and I doubt there will be other cases. So there have been a few cases in the past, and there's actually an ongoing epidemic of this in Nigeria. But the epidemic is about 50 cases per year, and they almost all seem to be from animal direct into person, like from the squirrel to the person. Human-to-human transmission occasionally happens, but usually it's only one set. So one person gives it to another, and then it stops. And so I think the risk is minimal, but it's good that this was caught in time. The other thing to factor in is that this virus has about a 1 to 2 week lag period between when a person's infected and they would first have symptoms. And so this person was noticed in the symptomatic phase, and the contact tracers will be wanting to look back through the past 2 to 3 weeks worth of contacts. It's a very slow disease that gradually progresses, again, a little bit like COVID. And it's something that is usually stopped pretty well by public health measures.
Very good. Dr. Newman, we appreciate that. That's a good context for how concerned we should be. We all have our antenna up, obviously, now because of what we've been through. Thank you. We appreciate it very much.
Health authorities in UK have confirmed a case of monkeypox, a rare viral infection. It was detected in a person with recent travel history to Nigeria, where they are believed to have caught it. The patient is being treated in a specialist isolation unit in London. The monkeypox virus is an orthopox virus, which is a genus of viruses that also includes the variola virus, which causes smallpox. Monkeypox is a zoonosis, a disease that is transmitted from infected animals to humans. According to the WHO, cases occur close to tropical rainforests inhabited by animals that carry the virus. Monkeypox virus infections have been detected in squirrels, Gambian poached rats, dormice, and some species of monkeys. Human-to-human transmission of the virus is, however, limited. It can be through contact with bodily fluids, lesions on the skin, the respiratory tract, or through the eyes, nose, or mouth, or by virus-contaminated objects such as bedding and clothing. According to the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, the infection was first discovered in 1958. 2 outbreaks of a pox-like disease were recorded in colonies of monkeys that were kept for research, which led to the name monkeypox. Since 1970, human cases of monkeypox have been reported from 11 African countries. Cases of monkeypox outside of Africa have usually occurred due to international travel or imported animals. Monkeypox cases have been reported in Israel, the USA, Singapore, and United Kingdom. Monkeypox causes symptoms similar to smallpox, although they are less severe. According to CDC, initially the virus may cause fever, headache, muscle aches, backache, swollen lymph nodes, chills, and exhaustion. The incubation period for monkeypox is usually 7 to 14 days, but can range from 5 to 21 days as well. Usually, within a day to 3 days of the onset of fever, the patient develops a rash that begins on the face and spreads to other parts of the body. The rash changes and goes through different stages before finally forming a scab, which later falls off. According to the WHO, the proportion of patients who die has varied between 0 and 11% in documented cases and has been higher among young children. There is no safe, proven treatment for monkeypox yet. The WHO recommends supportive treatment depending on the symptoms.
The The UK has been struck with a rare viral infection called monkeypox. Here's what you need to know about the mysterious disease. Monkeypox is a viral infection similar to smallpox, involving a mix of symptoms including fever, headaches, backaches, muscle aches, chills, exhaustion, and swollen lymph nodes. A rash can erupt on the skin and spread all over the body, but is usually mostly concentrated on the face, before a scab is formed and eventually falls off. The monkeypox virus usually causes mild illness in patients. Symptoms can appear between 5 to 21 days after infection, and the virus can last for 2 to 4 weeks. The infection can spread when someone makes contact with an infected person or with something they have touched and contaminated. However, the risk of transmission to the general population is very low. The virus mostly affects a younger age group, and up to 10% of people with monkeypox may die. Monkeypox primarily originates in the tropical rainforests of Central and West African countries, and it is mainly spread through wild animals. The World Health Organization says that the natural reservoir of monkeypox has not yet been identified, but the virus mostly transmits from rodents and primates. The infection was first discovered in 1958, after a pox-like disease outbreak occurred in monkeys used for research. The first human case of monkeypox was recorded in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in 1970. The most recent monkeypox case was confirmed in England on May 7th, with 2 new cases emerging since then, according to the Health Security Agency. Currently, there is no specific treatment for monkeypox. Although a new vaccinia-based vaccine was approved for the prevention of smallpox and monkeypox in 2019, it is not yet widely available to the public.